I'd be worried when I saw that as I drove up. Thought, I don't think they're doing this rebuild. It's supposed to look like that. Or that. But I think they've just cut the grout out, if indeed it's called grout, mortar, whatever it is, and they'll fill it back in. Because it doesn't look any bigger. Just odd. I'm guessing they're at lunch. They got that right now. We're at the end of day 3 of brickwork, and I don't know, it's about, well, it's not waist high yet, but it's getting there. They've left a fan running, blowing across it. I'm not sure if that was for them for comfort, or to help the bricks, and they forgot it, or it's to help the bricks dry. I did notice inside my office it's incredibly humid, and it's not that humid outside. So I'm guessing that that's the mud doing the work and the bricks curing up. Around on this side, they're actually more chest high on the front. So they knocked off early. They definitely knocked off early today. Sometime around 12:15, and I had a chat with the supervisor this morning, and he said they were still expecting to be done by Thursday, and that he was going to have to get this drywall removed so that they could work at it from the inside, either later today, which would be earlier today now, or tomorrow. And then he revised that, and he said he'd get Ryan from the general contractor to get some people out here to do that work. So I contacted him, and they'd arranged to do that tomorrow morning. So I have to be here tomorrow, because tomorrow's the day they start working in the house. And I'm guessing that they may have just reached the point where they couldn't go any further without the drywall being done, and that's why they left. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They've been pretty good so far once they got going, and it looks good. I mean, I can't tell that this wall has been torn down and rebuilt, at least the parts they've got back up. So I have a feeling I'm now in the stretch where I'm going to have to be here every day to let them in the house, because once they're done with the brickwork, then we have, I don't know what else. I don't know what else. Tomorrow I've got a meeting with the project manager, and we'll find out what other steps are going to be done. Are they replacing this window? Are they replacing that window? I don't know. The structural engineer recommended, I believe, I'll have to go back and look at that report before I talk with the project manager tomorrow, that we replace the window, and if it's on that report, I want it done. So then there's drywall and possibly the floor, and so that'll all be inside. So that's it for today. So here we are on day 4 of the construction. Project manager was out today, and we talked about the ongoing schedule for repairing the house. As of this morning at about 5:30, it looked like the bricklayers would be done today, with the slight possibility that they might drift over into tomorrow, but would definitely be done certainly no later than tomorrow. So the next phase, once that's done, would be to re-drywall the interior of the house. Despite the fact that the engineer's report said that they should replace the windows, they do not have that on their list of things to do, so I got to talk with some people about that. If the engineer thought that the windows needed replacing, damn it, those windows ought to be replaced. And that seems only fair. I don't know what his argument was for replacing the windows, but I'm not going to argue with somebody who knows better than me. They're not going to be able to start the drywall next week, So it would be at least a week after that before they start the drywall. Which, the house is secured, the room is, yeah. So I'm not bothered, although I still have to be here during the week for them to do the drywall. And then they got to paint, and they still may or may not do the floor, and then who knows about the windows, right? I don't know. So I got to work that one out. But next week should be fairly normal. Unless, and this is the part where I was about to launch into my... They took down the wall, the drywall today on the inside, because the bricklayers need to be able to be on the inside and the outside. Right now they're working from above, right? They can do whatever it is they're doing looking down, but as they get closer to the top, they have to be on the in and the out. So the house is now open up so that they can come in, and that temporary wall has been taken down, or parts of it have been taken down, so that they can get in there and do work on both sides. Well, they took the drywall down from I think 4 feet from above the ceiling until down 4 feet, although it looks like it's been more than 4 feet. But anyway, you can now see the bricks that are on the inside of the wall that they have not demolished. There's a huge crack over the area where they're working. And it could either be because it's not propped up, and because they've taken the bricks out, they've started to fall. Or it's probably, I'm guessing, it's probably that's the area that was damaged. And maybe or maybe not, it was cracked like that until they took the stuff out, but that it's begun to settle down. Anyway, when I spotted that, I alerted the bricklayers, and the lead, is that the supervisor's not here, but the lead came in, took a look at it, and he was like, whoa, we're going to have to demolish that whole thing. So looks like they're going to have to tear down more. We'll see. I've alerted the insurance company, I've alerted the general contractor, and they're supposedly alerting, these guys are supposedly alerting their supervisor. And we'll find out. But if that comes true, then they're going to have to take down another foot of wall and redo it. And I'm guessing that guarantees me into Friday and possibly even into Monday. So that's where we are now. Although I'm really looking forward to the bricks being sealed up. That would be a huge step. I'd feel a lot better about the house in general if that part is taken care of. That would be great. In fact, if it weren't for the fact that the damn bricks were painted on the inside, I would love to not have the bricks covered with drywall in my office. That would look cool, that sort of new old stone brick look that they do. But alas, that's not to be. Update on the wall. When I pointed it out to them this morning, they were remarkably cavalier. Personally, I was sitting thinking, you got literally a ton of bricks hanging over your head where you're working that look like they're going to fall. And they were like, all right, yeah. It's like, okay, well, we'll call the supervisor. So anyway, I sent a note to the insurance adjuster, and I sent a note to the general contractor, and they both came back with, wow! Startled reactions to the picture. But a little while later, they started doing some work inside. And then another guy who hadn't been in before went in, and he looked at it, and I heard him saying something to the other guy. He says, "Don't close the door hard on the way out." And I thought, that sounds like a realization that something's going wrong. So I poked my head in there, and I said, I heard the comment about the door, and he says, yeah, it's moving. It's like, you can hear it moving, but it's moving. So we got to get something under there right away. I thought I'd have been doing that hours ago. So they stuck a 2x4 propped up at an angle underneath it. Which is not gonna do it. So and then they went back to work, and I okay, I'm staying out of that part of the house. And then I hear the supervisor arrive, and he comes up and they say, yeah, we got this thing, and it goes like that. And he looks at it and he goes, oh shit. And then he put them to work on building supports for it. right away. A little bit more sturdy, although not like proper screw jacks or anything like that. They've built some supports with 2x4s and nails and stuff, which is a lot better than what they had. And I guess they're going to the yard to get some equipment. But he's not the most communicative chap in the world. And so I asked him some questions. What I got out of him was that they're going to have to take the rest of that wall up, down, and redo it. So I don't know what that does for the estimates. But you know damn good and well, it means they're not going to be done today. And they're not going to be done tomorrow. So this is just all... I mean, do it right. Get the job done right. I don't think this is their fault, per se. I'm not... That's not what I'm getting at. But, you know... I guess the problem is that we didn't pull that drywall earlier and get a look underneath there. And it could be that, you know, it's just... falling because of the work they're doing. I don't know. Anyway, more as it happens. Needless to say, with all the drama they had today, they have not finished by the end of today, which means they'll be at it again tomorrow. They've finished off, and they've, instead of just leaving these rather hastily put together 2x4 supports, they've also stacked up bricks in an effort to keep the ceiling from falling. I'm not going to bump into things just in case. I have to say, if you look down here at the wall, at the job they've done, that looks like a 50-year-old wall. If we come over here and take a look at the unmolested wall, that's a pretty good job of recreating it. I'll give them that. They are working with skill. And then over here, they have gotten over my head height now, and they're coming up on the lintel, which is quite big, really. Look at the size of it coming across there, which also gives more of that credence to the theory that it could have been a carport at one time, although it just isn't big enough. But anyway, we're moving along, not as fast as I'd like, but at least the roof didn't collapse, and they're aware of it, and hopefully they'll do something about it. The insurance adjuster came out, took a look at it as well. It knows it's going to cost more than what was originally estimated because of things like this. So I think that's it for today. I've got a story to tell, but I think this one's gone on long enough. So if you'll remember to like, comment, and subscribe, we will see you next time.